Hi, I'll be starting with Geography Class 10 NCERT, Chapter 1, Resources and Development. In this chapter, we will learn how resources and development are related with each other and makes our life worth living. First of all, let us try to understand what resources actually mean. Resources means something which satisfies our needs, and those which are present in our environment are known as resources. These resources are also technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable. I'm sure you have heard about these terms in our previous classes, but do you actually know what is the meaning of these terms? Let me explain these terms by taking a simple example. We know hydropower plant capture the energy of falling water to generate electricity. Here, if we consider electricity as resources, then the process of electricity generation by hydropower plant can be considered with technologically accessible, and in this process we also need to build dams which can be compared with economically feasible, and in this process of hydropower generation of electricity situation may arise where we have to cut down some trees of nearby areas. So, will the people of that area or society allow us to cut those trees? This can be related with culturally acceptable. This diagram here I have taken from your NCERT books, which shows us that the physical environment, institution, technology and human beings are interdependent with each other and accelerate the economic development of our nation. Now, you may be thinking that if these resources are free gift of nature, and the answer is no, because resources are only the function of human activities. Let me explain this by taking a simple example. Nowadays, we have many online learning platforms like Google, YouTube, and many more. These online learning platform we can consider as resources, and these resources of online learning platform were also made by human activities. So, by now, we have come to know how important resources are even in our daily life. So, let us further learn about the types of resources and its importance. Resources are classified based on various divisions. First, based on origin, based on exhaustibility, based on ownership, and based on the status of development. First of all, let's discuss the types of resources based on origin. There are two types, that is biotic and abiotic. Biotic are those resources which are obtained from our environment and have life, is known as biotic resources. Examples include human, fish, flora, fauna, etc. And abiotic resources are non-living things. Example, rocks, minerals, and many more. On the basis of exhaustibility, we have renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are those which we can use again and again and can be reproduced by a chemical or a physical process, is known as renewable. Example includes solar energy, wind energy, etc. Non-renewable resources are those which get finished up once used and cannot be recycled again. On the basis of ownership, resources are of four types. First is individual resources. Second is community resources. Third is national resources. And the last one is international resources. Let us see each one of these resources. Individual resources means those which are purchased privately by individuals. For example, my father have a car, so the car is the individual property of my father. Community resources means those resources which are accessible to all the members of society. For example, we have a park in our society where we go for morning walk. This park belongs to the people of our society. Also, a grazing field near our home. This grazing field belongs to the people of the society. National resources are those resources which belong within our political boundaries, like roads, canals, railways, etc. Apart from those resources which belong to the political boundaries of our country, the government has also given legal authorization to Urban Development Authority to acquire all the minerals or resources those belong within the 12 nautical miles of our country. International resources are those resources which are regulated by the international institutions. That is, if any oceanic resources present beyond 200 nautical miles of the political boundary of any country, then that resources or minerals belong to that country itself, and the government of that country can extract those resources without taking permission from any international institutions. Let me explain the exclusive economic zone with the help of diagram, because often questions are asked in many exams from this topic. We can say that exclusive economic zone is an area of coastal water within a certain distance from a country's coastline to which the country can claim for any exclusive economic activities. Let us consider this is the land area and this is continental shelf. This part is called territorial sea, which is 12 nautical miles from the baseline. Next, we have contiguous zone, that is after 12 nautical miles. Then this part is exclusive economic zone, that is 200 nautical miles from the baseline. Next, this part is high sea, that is deep sea part. So in this diagram it is seen that is this part, that is 200 nautical miles from the baseline, is known as exclusive economic zone. The last type of division of resources on the basis of states of developments are following. First is potential resources. Are those resources which are available but we are unable to use it. For example, Rajasthan has huge solar energy but it is not utilized in large scale. Likewise, Gujarat has huge wind energy but it is not also used in large scale. Also, in Arunachal Pradesh of Northeast, it has large water capacity, but the water of that area is not utilized in large scale. Another type of resources is developed resources. Are those resources which have been already surveyed and determined the quality and also we are presently using. Such type is known as developed resources. For example, many coal fields or gold mines of our country or in different part of our world is already surveyed and determined, and we have been using those resources from that area. Next, the stock resources are those materials which are present in our environment which have potential to satisfy our needs, but human beings do not have the appropriate technology to access such type of resources. For example, water, which consists of hydrogen and oxygen, which is also a rich source of energy, but due to the lack of technology, we cannot use the water molecule for appropriate purpose. Next, the reserve resources are those resources which are available to us. We also have appropriate technology to access them. Still, we are not using those resources to save them for the future generation. Such type of resources or stock is known as reserve stock. For example, like now forests are converted to forest reserves because this forest resource reserves, besides providing habitat for animals and livelihood to human beings, it also prevents soil erosion and prevent climate change. Likewise, if you find any such type of resources which are available but are not in use and is kept in reserve for the future generation, do think such type of resources and reply in the comment section below. Thank you.